Good morning, brothers and sisters. Have you shouted for joy yet? You and I are the same. We are the Lord's darling love, His treasure and His distinctive. We shall shout for joy. Hallelujah! How precious! We are saved. We can understand this salvation. We can be a part in this movement. We can grow in the household of God. We can enjoy the love from many brothers and sisters. Let us shout for joy. Shall we sing a hymn in God's Family Hymnal, the first, Song 49? I give thanks to God that He has kept me, especially my heart, so that I love to draw near Him, lest I may drift away. There is nothing I can be boast of. If the Lord didn't attract me, if the Lord didn't keep me, truly I cannot follow Him until now, and I cannot be the blessings of many. I'm very grateful for the Lord. Shall we sing this hymn in God's Family Hymnal, the first, Song 49, the echoes of thanksgiving?
When I recall my journey in the past, He surely loves me. He surely loves me. When I was in the land of wilderness, He encircles me. He cares for me and keeps me. He keeps me as the apple of His eye. Who is greatly loved by God like me? He is gracious to me indeed. When my midst was stirred, the Lord's gracious hand, just like He is spreading out His wings, bearing me on His pinions. He put me in His bosom of love, and laid His right hand on me. Whisper to me, I have searched you and known you. You are in my heart. Lord, your love hath melted my heart. O my beloved, I am willing to break my flask, offer all the ointments to you. Even I die or endure many hardships, I will surely follow you faithfully, carry my cross and walk the ongoing journey, march forward into the glory.
I was touched by the first stanza. He surely loves me. He surely loves me. And He is gracious to me indeed. There are some experiences which I had forgotten, but I can really remember those feelings. But what is it? He is gracious to me indeed. Of course, I can still recall some experience. Whether I remember or I forgot, I know well that He loves me very much, and He gives me the best. For example, when I study in the university, all these experiences have brought me to Him closely and brought me far. He really wants me to be associated with His will. On the other hand, in the third stanza, even I die or endure many hardships, I will surely follow you faithfully. I really want to repay His love to me all my life. Even I have to die or endure many hardships, I can really live for Him like this, because I find I have nothing to repay God in my life. No matter how much I serve or how I help brothers and sisters or helping others, I will not hesitate to sacrifice my life, for He is worthy for me to love as such. In fact, he loved me first and gave his life for me. Even I die or endure many hardships, the Lord has determined and chosen to be a man for me forever, to experience as a man and the cross. It is his choice. I have to give thanks to the Lord that I have chance to repay his grace on me on earth. I don't want to make empty promises. I hope I have the chance to express my love to him. Shall we sing this hymn one more time? And we will worship together after singing.
When I recall my journey in the past, he surely loves me. He surely loves me. When I was in the land of wilderness, he encircles me. He cares for me and keeps me. He keeps me as the apple of his eye. Who is greatly loved by God like me? He is gracious to me indeed. When my midst was stirred, the Lord's gracious hand, just like he is spreading out his wings, bearing me on his pinions. He put me in his bosom of love, and laid his right hand on me. Whisper to me, I have searched you and known you. You are in my heart. Lord, your love hath melted my heart. O my beloved, O my beloved, I am willing to break my flask, offer all the ointments to you. Even I die or endure many hardships, I will surely follow you faithfully, carry my cross and walk the ongoing journey, march forward into the glory.
Lord, I give thanks you drew me from the peak of destruction, out of the miry block. You have enhanced me so that I come to the depth of your heart. I can enjoy the highest love of my beloved in your bosom. I can become Abba's dear child and take up the task in this generation. It is my honor to have a part to accomplish your will through the ages, to build your glorious house. O Lord, help us to follow you faithfully and to the end. May the Lord bless you all. Now you can stop this recording. You can recall your memory of the grace of the Lord on you. Was your experience paved with his wonderful plan, his presence, and his love appearing to you? So let's quiet yourself and enjoy the Lord's presence. Let's have the fellowship of love with the Lord. And then you can come back and hear what's the verses we're going to read today. May the Lord bless you. We will read in the book of Genesis, chapter 33. There are 3 parts, and they are verse 3 and 4, verse 9 to 11, and verse 18 to 20. I was impressed by these verses, hence I'd like to share with you. Let us read verse 3 to 4 first. He himself went on before them, bowing himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, and fell on his neck and kissed him. And they wept. I felt the love among the brothers in these verses. They didn't get along well 20 years ago. 2 of them had a chip on their shoulders, but they embraced each other and wept 20 years later. They have grown and experienced life after 20 years. The closer to the land of Canaan, the more worried was Jacob. He was afraid whether Esau has forgotten their personal grudges. But Jacob met God at night in Peniel. I believe Jacob saw God in person, and he wrestled with God. God blessed him and renamed him. This incident enhanced the faith of Jacob. The Bible mentioned he himself went on before them, and it was different from the initial arrangement. He was so worried that he put himself to the last. But Jacob made a big progress in a short notice. He has a big improvement because he met God. I'm very sure that he met God, and only God could change the situation at short notice. The heart of man is the most difficult, and it is not easy at all to change the heart of man. As you can see, the heart of Jacob has turned at short notice. He was full of peace. Surely he believed firmly God appeared to him on that night and promised to give him the land of Canaan. Do you want to have a turnaround in your life? We really need God to appear to us. We need God to talk to us. But we have to draw near God and let him to turn us around. We shall be like Jacob, to grasp on God, to grasp on his promise, to believe that he will bless us. We can experience his great work on us at short notice. This is the hope of our life. No matter which status our life are in, God can stretch out his hand at short notice. God can turn our hearts and even our situations around. When the 2 brothers embraced each other and cried, then you know Jacob was over-worrying. It was a very touching moment. I was touched God didn't forget Jacob at all. He was molding Jacob during these 20 years. I was so grateful that God was helping Esau during all these years. I was thinking, we are following the Lord. Of course, God has worked in our hearts, but don't forget that it is the Lord who works all things together for our good, so that we can stand until now. Hence, unlike the past, we shall not worry too much like Jacob. Don't be unbelieved. Do not over-worry. We shall believe that the Lord will give us the best, and our life are in his hand. So we shall have the fullness of faith and hope. In addition, he is able to turn around the situation in short notice. Shall we read verse 9 to 11? But Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. Jacob said, No, please. If I have found favor in your sight, then accept my present from my hand, for I have seen your face, which is like seeing the face of God, and you have accepted me. Please accept my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. Thus he urged him, and he took it. Here is talking about Jacob wanted to give the presents to Esau, but he refused, for he had a lot. That reminds me, God has blessed Esau during these 20 years. Jacob has especially mentioned he saw his brother's face was like seeing the face of God. I don't think his saying was a conventional greeting or was not sincere, for the night before he did see the face of God, and even face to face with God, for he grabs onto God in order to get the blessing of God. Jacob wrestled with God. God promised him to give the land of Canaan. he saw his brother Esau. Out of his expectations, Esau welcomed him, embraced him, and kissed him. He even refused the gifts from Jacob. I believe Jacob had never thought of that. He has truly experienced that God has accepted him. Through the warm welcome and acceptance from Esau, his embrace and kisses, Jacob has experienced that God has promised him on that night has come true. What Jacob has gained, not only the promise gave from God on that night, his love appearing, his word was proved to be true later on, through the situation and the people. I really treasure that God is so compassionate. I believe when he saw his brother Esau ran to him, embrace him and kiss him, his heart must fall of God who has favor on him. Hence, I really like in verse 11, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. Jacob's heart was not satisfied because of the situation. I believe he was so satisfied, for God loved him. God appeared to him in person, and God would bless him later on, and his offspring. His greatest satisfaction was to be so close with God. Let us read also in verse 18 to 20. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, on his way from Paddan Aram. And he camped before the city, and from the sons of Hymnal, Shechem's father, he bought 400 pieces of money, the piece of land on which he had pitched his camp. There he erected an altar and called it El Elohe-Israel. After Esau welcomed Jacob, Jacob didn't follow his brother, went back to Seir, for he has a destination where God asked him to go, and he went back to the land of Canaan. I heard a different will from some commentators. I found Jacob really wanted to experience the promise of God. He obeyed God and went back to the land of Canaan, where God promised to give to him. He went from Succoth to Shechem, and Shechem was the first place where Jacob entered into the land of Canaan. That's also remind he has made a wish to God. The first night when he departed suddenly in Bethel, he met God and saw the ladder of heaven. In the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 21, Jacob made a vow and said to God, "So that I come again to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God, and this stone which I have set up for a pillar shall be God's house. And all of that you give me, I will give a full tenth to you." I don't think Jacob forgot about the grace of God. Instead, I found when he returned to Canaan, the first thing he did was to have the thanksgiving to God. Then he erected an altar and to remember the work of God. And this altar had a special name, called El Elohe-Israel. The meaning is God, the God of Israel. He gave thanks to God greatly. I found Jacob understood deeply the personal love of God to him. God was not only the God of his father or the God of Abraham, his grandfather. He could cry out that God was the God of Israel, his God. He kept discover God was his God, whom had the most personal love to him. Hence, this altar had a special name. Brothers and sisters, have you realized God involved at different stage in your life? Have you also experienced God's personal love to you? Have you ever experienced deeply that God has not forgotten you? Your name has engraved in the Lord's heart. Have you promised to the Lord that you will commit your life to him? Surely the Lord remembers. I hope every one of us keep our promise that we are willing to love him to the end, to follow him to the end. I really treasure the response of Jacob. He didn't forget the grace of God on him, his personal love on him. I don't know whether Jacob in my mind is a good person, which is different from the majority, but it doesn't matter. At least Jacob has encouraged my heart. I treasure the Lord's personal love to me. If I will see Jacob in heaven, I will ask him how he feels when he erects this altar. I hope I didn't get it wrong, but there is one thing I'm pretty sure. The personal love of the Lord to you and me are the most unique. There is nobody can replace you in the Lord's heart. I hope we all have the love response to the Lord. May the Lord bless you all. Shall we worship together? Lord, how precious. Not only we have the grace in the past, you save us and mold us. We firmly believe the grace is even greater in the coming days. You will make us the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until full day. O Lord, you really want us to be as glorious as you. The longer we walk with you, the firmer we believe in your love. We are more treasure of your love and your calling. Lord, you don't really mind what we can do for you. Lord, let every one of us understand well your heart. May our copper coins that we have satisfy your heart. Thank you for your deepest personal love to every one of us. Lord, let us not enjoy only in heaven. Let every brothers and sisters can enjoy deeply your personal love on earth. Brothers and sisters, I really want every one of us not just think of the glory in heaven, but we can be very glorious in present life. We shall enjoy it and experience it too. Hence, we have to have a life of faith and hope. The heart of Abba and the Lord also want us to be the most joyous and be blessed. We can enjoy it and experience him on earth as well. May the Lord bless you.